So Fall Guys, what are we, testing myths about 80s TV shows?
Ooh, can we do A-Team next?
Yes and no. Yes, we can get to the A-Team, and no, we are not testing myths about 80s TV shows. We're actually gonna test the myths about falling, or more accurately, not falling.
So you're talking about like the classic Hollywood scenario where somebody's hanging on to a high edge using nothing but their fingertips.
Exactly.
This sounds awesome.
To cling on by your fingertips is a classic silver screen cliche. Apparently, in any action movie, the hero can hang on indefinitely. But are any of the many variations really viable? To find out, the team will take on two of the most common. First, can you really just hang on until help comes along? Then, hauling yourself into a helicopter. Is it fact or film fiction?
You guys, I have the perfect place to test this. There's a fire training tower in Pleasanton. It's got ledges all around, easily accessible rooftop, and it's pretty tall.
Well, as far as the hang time test goes, there's one thing I'd like to add, and that's edge thickness, and see how that affects how long you can hold on to.
Okay, well, we can build something that clamps onto the ledge that we can easily adjust from 4 inches to ½ an inch. Then we can correlate hang time to ledge thickness.
Well, since we're gonna be working from heights, it's gonna be pretty dangerous. So why don't we get a professional climber to come in? That way we'll be belayed. So if we do fall, no one gets hurt.
And you know, we can use him to see how well a professional does compared to us average Joes.
What are we waiting for?
So the team head on out to hang out at the perfect place to, you know, hang out.
All right, now when we talked about this in the blueprint room, it seemed pretty straightforward. Whoa, this is high. I mean, we just grab onto an edge and see how long we can hang on. But now, standing on top of the 75-foot building, I'm wondering, is this really necessary? I mean, can't we just test this hanging off a door frame?
Well, not really, because a key component of this myth is motivation, and hanging from a great height will ramp up the fear factor. But just in case that's not enough, here's a quick demo.
So we've got the perfect building for our experiment. The only thing that we're missing is adrenaline. Now, undoubtedly, when you're hanging on for your life, adrenaline is gonna give you that little extra boost of oxygen and sugar that might help you hang on long enough for help to arrive. Now, just to get our juices flowing, we're gonna demonstrate for you what would happen if something went horribly, horribly wrong with our old pal Buster. Look out below!
Buster is falling from 70 feet. By the time he gets to the ground, he's gonna be traveling at 45 miles an hour. But I mean, look at him right now. He actually looks pretty good. Oh, except for that. Ooh. This is the producer's idea of motivation. What is wrong with these people?
With the team's nerves suitably primed, let's find out what's on the agenda.
So the first thing we're gonna test is how long you can hang on to a ledge. And to do that, I've built this, the Ledge-O-Matic. It's fully adjustable, so we can block off a controlled amount of ledge each time. And we'll get progressively smaller and smaller until we can no longer hang on. Then we'll have a good idea of how long an average Joe can hang on to a ledge.
But before the action begins, let's meet the man who'll be pulling the piñata strings.
Anybody got a bat?
Aaron, a professional climber, is not only helping the team with their safety protocols.
You're gonna come over the edge, and then what I want you to do is say tension.
He's set up the belay system so it won't support the climber's weight, at least until they fall.
Good.
Yeah, it feels real good.
Tory, you're the guinea pig.
No, I'm no stranger to heights. I mean, I've hung off of a ski lift. I was stuck. See that?
Okay.
I jumped through awning. I've even jumped off of a 200-foot bridge. However, it never fails. Getting this close to the edge, you can't help it. Your nerves kick in. But I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, the rope could break, and yeah, you could fall. But I mean, you know, you could probably survive a 75-foot fall. Be scared.
Now in the movies, people hang off of all shapes and sizes of ledges, and we are gonna do the same. The goal is to come up with a set of data that correlates ledge thickness to hang time.
Hook me in.
And to start off with, we're gonna use a nice fat ledge.
I'm gonna double check it just in case.
Yep, the ledge width will be starting at 4 inches, which should be plenty of room. Even for Fat Finger Belechi.
Getting into position.
Good luck, buddy.
Man, this is kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Okay, so this is Tory test, 4 inches. Ready? Go.
Hanging!
How you feeling?
Good.
Don't let go.
But even with plenty of room to get a comfortable grip, after just 30 seconds, the strain begins to show.
How you feeling? Good?
Concentrate.
Sorry.
And as Adam once said,
Gravity, man. It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
so unlike a Hollywood hero, Tory will inevitably fall. But exactly how that happens is a painful surprise.
You all right?
I think you should be glad that I was a guinea pig. Oh, I'm bleeding all over like...
If you're squeamish, look away, because when the damage is inspected, a deep gash is the result. But looking at this, it could have been much worse. Tory fell a full story before landing on a ledge, his shin taking the full force of the blow.
Yeah, when I saw blood pouring out my pant legs, I knew it might be bad.
Here he goes.
In the Fall Guy myth, Tory has once again put his body on the line.
All in the name of science.
But the science must go on.
Are you bleeding in my car?
No.
So while Tory takes a trip to ER to stitch up the leak in his leg,
Talk about motivation not to let go.
Bleeding all over like...
Grant and Jessi are moving on.
My prediction is I will hang on for 10 minutes at least, and then you'll see the traces of my fingernails going down the wall.
With the adrenaline pumping and the ledge narrowing,
That's 3 inches.
Iron Grip Imahara is hooked in and out on a limb.
Okay, climbing.
You hanging?
Go.
Starting.
And with the 3-inch ledge not even close to cramping his style, his time is similar to Tory's.
Okay, here I go. Ow.
1 minute and 3 seconds.
Really? Fairly consistent.
Consistent times? Sure. But bear in mind the myth is about hanging on indefinitely.
Does this harness make me look heavy?
And our average Joes are consistently falling.
All right, you ready for 2 inches?
Look, my fingers aren't even 2 inches long. Of course I'm ready for 2 inches. Hanging.
Timer is started.
Despite the further narrowing, Jessi has plenty of room to work with. And once again, her time is in that 1 minute slot.
Minute 6.
Heck yeah.
You don't even look
Yeah, they're
tired.
starting to slip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here I go.
Nice! 1 minute 17.
Woo!
So, we are halfway done with our testing. And so far, we've established an average hang time for the average Joe of 60 seconds. Now, to make sure that muscle fatigue is not a factor, we're gonna get a massage for science. Now, in all seriousness, this is not just a massage. A lot of science goes into physical therapy, particularly for climbers. These muscles that are in your fingers, they're optimized for fine motor movement, such as riding, for example. When you get to these deep finger flexors that are in your forearm, they're not meant to take your entire body weight, which is why it's all the more important for top performance to give them a little attention here. How's it going, Jessi?
We're still working on it.
Are you saying it's not my turn?
Yes, patience, young man, patience.
With the chores out of the way, it's back up top for more action movie action.
Now the 2 inches wasn't that bad. I mean, I was able to hang on for over a minute. But now we're gonna work our way down to 1 inch, and this is where it's really gonna start getting challenging. So see what happens.
At 1 inch, the guys really are down to a fingertip grip. Jessi is about to find out if hanging on to that slimmest of margins is movie make-believe or a real-life possibility.
Dude, this hurts way much more.
Hang on there, Jessi.
All right, here we go.
33 seconds.
That is much, much more difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, really. It was less than half the hang time of the previous test, when ledge width wasn't a factor. Which doesn't bode well for Grant, because he's up next and he's running out of room.
That, my friends, is 1/2 of 1 inch. And that is about how much I can hang on. I'm predicting a lot of pain, but not for very long. Let's do this. Okay.
But he can't turn that steely determination into an iron grip
Oh my God. This is crazy.
because he simply can't get a grip.
You ready?
I'm so ready.
Ah!
Nothing. Not even a second.
Ow!
And his time reflects that.
I would love to see the action hero that can hang on to that. You know, you try and get yourself in the mindset like, I've got to hang on to this or I'm gonna fall or die. Ah! But it's not really a choice with a half-inch ledge. I mean, the second I put my weight on there, pow, all my fingers exploded and then I'm flying through the air. And it was just that quick. No way, impossible.
So in direct contradiction to the movies, if you find yourself hanging on by your fingernails, you're not hanging on for very long.
Nothing.
And even with room to work with, it's a tough task. In a real-life situation, you'd better hope help arrives Hollywood style, fast and in the nick of time. But this is an action movie myth. How would a Hollywood hero cope? So move over Average Joe and Average Jessi and step up Action Man Aaron.
That's why I'm here.
First up, Aaron tackles the 1-inch ledge,
Okay, start.
And we're off and running.
and he significantly improves on Jessi's time.
You're shaking.
Okay.
Woo!
48 seconds. Nice.
But what's really impressive is Aaron's half-inch performance.
Yeah, it's tiny, isn't it?
Remember, Grant couldn't hold on for a single second.
Okay.
Okay. He's hanging in there.
You're doing awesome. I can't believe you're still hanging on.
Oh! Nice! 14 seconds.
That was great! All right, so even if you're a super strong climber, you only got about 14 seconds before you fall off a super skinny ledge.
Yeah, I mean, this whole idea that you can hang on indefinitely in action movies, totally busted.
Yeah, busted. How much longer do you think you can hang for?
Not long. Me neither.
So there's one more thing I want to test.
What's that?
It is a movie classic. The hero is rescued by a helicopter. However, the helicopter does not have time to land.
Right, he has to grab onto the skid, pull himself up and over and into the cabin, despite the downdraft from the blades and the onrushing air as the helicopter flies away.
That's a great myth, but nobody's gonna let us hang from a real helicopter.
You're right, and that is why we're going to build our own helicopter.
Oh, you mean like make a mock-up helicopter with skids and everything, and then put a fan in front of it that blows 80-mile-an-hour winds, just like cruising speed of a real helicopter.
It's like you're reading my mind. And then what we'll do is we'll measure the downdraft created by a helicopter, and that'll transfer into a weight that we'll wear while we're experimenting.
Perfect. Let's not hover around here anymore.
So to get a head start on the myth of the chopper climb,
This is how do we make it the Grant ahead?
Tory once again makes a new head for Grant.
Hey, he's got a robot. That's enough out of you. One thing we haven't really talked about with holding on to the skid of a helicopter is the downforce created by the rotor blades. That might be a lot of air pressure that could potentially knock you off. So we need to figure out a way to measure that downforce. So what I have here is Grant's head and shoulders. This is gonna give us the same surface area as somebody holding on to the helicopter skids. Now, I've attached Grant to the scale, so that way if there's any change in the downforce, we'll be able to measure it. Works.
Now, obviously, the most direct way to test this myth would be to try to hang from a helicopter while it's flying. But unfortunately, the insurers tell us it's too dangerous. But don't worry, because we have a cunning plan which still involves a real helicopter. And we've enlisted the help of Making Air helicopters to test this myth.
So they're about to find out how much downdraft there is by hovering directly overhead the head.
Look at that. It's increasing to 500 on that 700 as it's getting away from the center of the helicopter.
When Grant's head on a scale is near the outer circumference of the rotor blades,
Now it's at 900.
the downdraft peaks at almost a kilo. But the myth is all about climbing up onto the skids.
We want the skid to be just above scale.
Bring him in a little closer.
And in close, the downforce is surprisingly small.
Yeah, look at that. down to about 50 grams.
Really?
So it's roughly around 50 to 80 grams when he's just hovering.
which is fairly insignificant. And even a sudden takeoff doesn't make much difference.
So it got up to a little over 100 grams on that one.
100 grams is nothing. Your clothes weigh more than 100 grams.
So we just finished testing the downforce of the helicopter, and the results were very consistent. We had him hover above our scale. As he came down, the weight increased. However, it only got to 50 grams, which is nothing. I mean, your clothes weigh more than that. And at one point, we had him punch it as if he was taking off, and it peaked at about 130 grams, which is still not that much weight. So it looks like the downforce of the helicopter really isn't going to affect your ability to hang on to the skid.
So, in summary, and somewhat unexpectedly, the team can ignore the downdraft from the chopper blades and go to work at the next location.
Best commute ever.
No signs prohibiting heavy machinery or myth busting. Perfect. Because at the pool, they've got everything they need, including a cool chopper mock-up Jessi knocked up at the shop.
That's cool.
We got a helicopter.
That is awesome.
That's perfect.
All right, so it may not be a real helicopter, and a lot of it is made from plywood, but I'd have to say it's a pretty darn good helicopter for the amount of time I had.
Where's Rick and TC, man?
Most importantly, everything is to spec. These struts are 45 degrees, and the skids are 3-inch diameter tubing, just like a real helicopter.
Now, how many times have you watched in an action film somebody jump onto a helicopter and climb up as it's taking off? Now we get to try it. I mean, we're living out our action hero fantasies.
The idea is that we will be suspended over a pool. Buster PI ready for takeoff. That way, if we fall, we won't fall to our death. We'll just fall in the pool. We have liftoff. We have liftoff here. The goal is to hang on to the skid, pull yourself up and over and into the cockpit to safety. Oh, look, turbulence. Hang on, everybody, hang on.
But a set of realistic skids on a fake chopper is not the only obstacle the guys will encounter on their climb to safety.
Based on our test with the real helicopter, we know that the downward force at hover is minimal. But let's face it, this is an action movie. They have to fly away. How do you simulate flight at a swimming pool? With this. This is a 6-foot diameter fan blade connected to a 350 horsepower big block engine. It's capable of generating wind speeds of up to 95 miles per hour. That's enough to simulate the cruising speed of our helicopter and more than enough to test this myth. That's like an instant hurricane.
It might blow my clothes off.
Maybe you should wear 2 pairs.
Ladies, get ready.
We have liftoff here.
Jessi, Grant, and Tory are about to live out their action movie dreams. They want to know, a la Hollywood, can you hop into a helicopter?
All right, so this is what I think should happen, guys. We hang on, but we can't start doing any climbing until we actually hit the airstream.
Well, then the goal here is to climb up onto the skid, get yourself safely inside the helicopter without falling into the water.
All right, so who goes first?
Not it.
Not it.
I guess I'll go first.
Don't tell her about the piranhas.
I think I'm gonna do just fine. I got a good technique, and it's gonna get me up and over. It's just those winds that I'm quite curious about.
Yep, and it's those 80-mile-an-hour winds simulating a helicopter's cruising speed and the accurate undercarriage and skid structure that gives this test the seal of authenticity. But none of that stops stunt girl Jessi. She was slick, quick, and her technique looked like it was straight out of the stunt girl manual.
Nice job! You're like a little monkey.
Good one.
Okay, so those winds are pretty intense. I mean, look, it unfolded my pant leg.
Yeah, your shirt almost got blown.
We weren't kidding when we were talking about blowing our clothes off. This is a pretty large tubing, so if you have little hands, it's gonna be difficult to hang on to, because I could feel myself starting to kind of slide off. And then, once you got into the wind, I was like, the winds are insane. My ponytail's sideways, my pant leg has come undone, my shirt almost flew off. And then what's standing up on the skid, it's a little bit more difficult than you thought it would be, because you do have those pressing winds, but once you're in, you're safe.
The key to Jessi's success was speed. And if you throw in the fact that this test is all about strength to body weight ratio, being a lot lighter she's got a big advantage over the guys. So, will they be able to match her?
All right, you ready?
That was nuts. I was hanging onto the skid, and as I was going out, I was like, yeah, this is fine. And then all of a sudden, I hit that wind, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna fall into the water. That was crazy.
Crazy? Sure, but also very achievable. And with Grant scrambling for safety, with just a wardrobe malfunction to worry about,
Get to the chopper, Grant!
the myth and the boys' deluded silver screen dreams are looking good.
Man, he wanted to live! I'm alive! I made it to the chopper!
See his shirt come up? Damn, thank God his pants didn't come off.
Take that, action heroes.
That was such a fun test, and it's possible to climb into a helicopter as it's taken off.
Yeah, but it's definitely not as easy as it looks in the action movies.
Well, so far, all of these Fall Guys myths are looking pretty good.
You know what? I think we did pretty good for a couple of average Joes.
Ooh,